Welcome everyone to our BAM, and get ready because we always have everyone go off camera and BAM with us because these sessions are powerful. There are 1 hour lunch sessions that happen once a month here at the Maryland Hispanic Chamber, and we bring great information for everyone, for all members and non-members. This is one of those opportunities that we open to everyone because we know that information is valuable, and that's what the Maryland Hispanic Chamber is all about, creating valuable opportunities for all of our community. So this monthly series focused on business advocacy and mentoring. And I have the honor of being your moderator today, Cris Oviedo, as I already said. Before we get with our conversation going, we just want to remind you all that the Maryland Hispanic Chamber does not endorse any businesses, but supports all businesses of our members and sponsors and the economic development here in Maryland. We want to thank our sponsors, like Patricia was saying, right? If somebody helps us pay the bills and keep the Zoom active and open for all of our members and non-members. So thank you to all of our sponsors for their support. If you would like more information, if you'd like to become a sponsor for the chamber or for some of our events, there's plenty of opportunities. Reach out to Patricia, please, reach out to Marco, have a conversation with us. All of our information is on our website, and we'll be glad to send you that. We also want to remind you that the Maryland Hispanic Chamber is creating countless opportunities to help you get informed, connect, and grow your business. You can see here on display right there some of the upcoming events. There's, multi-chamber mixer later on in April, which I know is powerful. If you are in the greater Baltimore region, make sure to put that on your calendar. We have another BAM coming up for you in April as well. There's a very exciting event happening on April 9th, Calvert County. We're coming your way. So if you're there, if you know people, make sure you put that on your calendar. Make sure you put that there. Popcorn Mastermind is also coming up, and that's a powerful, powerful event happening. It's going to be virtual this time, and you have the opportunity to have a coach, a very experienced coach. You can bring a problem that you're facing right now, be surrounded by professionals, express that problem that you may be having, and then leave with solutions. It's a very powerful. Look out on our social media. We have testimonials coming up about that and how powerful it was in our last session. So make sure you connect with us on social media, you follow us, you like us, and you share with others. I heard that some of you guys are here because somebody shared this link with you, and I so appreciate that. So let's keep that rolling. Let's keep our community together and growing. Consider joining the chamber if you're not a member. Membership runs from January through December, so this is a very great time to join. It's still early in the year. We have enhanced our list of benefits. You can register online on ndhcc.org. You can contact us by email, phone for assistance. And I know that there is a space called Member Mondays where Patricia has dedicated 1 hour a week for all of our members, where if you have any questions, where if you want to know how to better use your membership, that's where you want to be. Don't miss it at noon on Mondays, Member Mondays with Patricia. Later on, I'm going to drop my information, and I encourage you to do the same. That's what we're here for. We're here to connect with each other. We're here to build community. That's what the chamber is all about. So on the chat, if you haven't yet, feel free to drop your information, what your business is about, a little bit about yourself. We're here to get to connect with others, and most importantly, to learn together and do business together. We're very excited to dive into a topic that's rapidly transforming the way that we do business. AI, artificial intelligence. Our presenter, Sergio Reyes, I'm sure that's how he says it in Spain, is a senior executive and educator with over 20 years of international experience, helping companies improve performance through finance, technology, and AI. As a partner at Beyond AI Business School and a former director at leading financial institutions, Sergio works with organizations around the world to move beyond seeing AI as just a tool and instead position it as a core part of their business strategy. Through his work, he helps leaders embed AI into decision-making processes, unlocking new levels of productivity, efficiency, and sustainable growth. In today's session, Sergio is going to help us better understand how AI can be applied in real, practical ways within our businesses. So whether you're just getting started with AI or if you're looking to take your strategy to the next level, if you already have your GPT and your friends like I am, Sergio is going to take us tell us how to take that to the next level. So Sergio, thank you so much. I know it's late in Madrid, but we so appreciate you being here today. So please take it away. And you're muted, so please unmute.
Okay, thank you. I'm the living proof that even with silver hair, you can learn about AI. So nobody should be, afraid about something which is transforming not only our lives, but our society. So let me share my screen and we'll start with the presentation. Okay, can everyone see the slide?
Yes, we can.
Perfect.
Yes.
So, sometimes when we speak about technology, we used to think that this is for very large corporations. But something that has been going on over the last 5 years is that the way how LLMs have been created has allowed the possibility to really make that everyone will be able to use them. So now technology is able to make that small businesses will use in a wisely way and will do things that before were completely impossible because you will need to invest a lot of money. So our goal today is not speaking about science fiction, but trying to really be and understand what can be done and what is a wiseful and practical way of using this new technology. So let's start with it. And just a brief introduction about what is beyond AI. Our focus, as has been mentioned, is really try to provide criteria that companies will understand that AI is not something, it's not a trend, but it's a whole change in the way how companies are going to evolve. It's really something that has to be embedded the corporate strategy because AI really, I used to travel between 2 or 3 times per year to Silicon Valley, and this thing can be even greater than the internet itself. So we'll see how far it goes, but for sure, this is something that will have a profound impact in the way how large, medium, and small companies behave in the future. Okay, who is this webinar for? I'm pretty sure that there's people that is using all the time, as it had been said, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, and many others. So sometimes we use more these LLMs for our personal use than for corporate use. Sometimes, and this is my experience, even large companies don't have sometimes the policy of what can be done and what cannot be done. So they are afraid, and sometimes they don't allow their employees to use them. So this is why sometimes individuals go leading the way, and sometimes corporations are behind. But the real truth is that if we use them in a wisely way, we can be much more productive. We can enhance, we can be really more efficient. And sometimes it's not a thing of hiring or acquiring an IT technical person, but it's just the capacity that all of us have to understand that this is something that anyone can do by his own. So let's move forward. And to understand the speed of change, I'm going to put this marker. If we speak about Netflix, it took 3.5 years in order to reach 1 million users. Airbnb in 2008, it took 2.5 years. Facebook, it took 10 months. ChatGPT took 5 days to reach 1 million users. Today, we are nearly 900 million. So it's completely exponential. And this is why we have a very powerful tool, which is in the hands of millions of people. In fact, hundreds of millions. If we analyze this from the perspective of who is using it for what, we can say that maybe we have about almost 2 billion, about 600 of them on a daily basis and 1.2 on a weekly or monthly basis. And what is being used for? Uh, by the way, is the audio arriving correctly?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Uh, about 80% of them, general things, and about 20% for specialized tools. One thing which is really, really important is to understand free versus paid. 97% of all users are not paying for the use of these new tools. Only 3% are paying. And this has a big impact because where we are going to see in the following minutes. If we try to analyze what the LLMS is, sometimes we find that some of them, and let me mark this again, some of them has lower performance. This used to happen more 2 years ago. Now, with the latest version of Gemini, ChatGPT 5.2 and onwards, or Perplexity, every time models are getting better and better. But of course, especially if we speak about the free versions, we have some limitations. And these limitations can be in the number of requests or in the number of features that we are looking for. And sometimes we also have problems in the length of the context. If LLM doesn't have the proper context, so probably the results are not be that accurate. In this regard, I want to just show you a few things that probably most of the audience already has done, but just a reminder. And this, we're going to use ChatGPT as an example, but it's similar in all other LLMs. Before starting to use these tools, we should go into the setup in order to really have the appropriate way of communicating with the LLM. So if we go to personalization, for example, we need to tell the model who we are, what is the objective of the usage we're going to do for the LLM, and give context, who we are. Are we going to use because we are a company which is in the financial sector? Are we in the health industry? Are we in the distribution sector? Or I'm just using this for personal things? Who we are. And of course, we can create different projects so the model will learn and we will be separating each individual line so that everything will be correctly ordered. One important thing is, how do we want the outcome? Professional, friendly, candid? So we should tell the model what type of output we want and how it should be displayed. Remember, we have limited time. And one of the most important things is that many of us, we're doing prompting once, twice, and many times. And it gets exhausted because after 6, 7 prompting, sometimes we say, I mean, there's no point. LLM or the AI models should help me to be much more efficient. But if it takes me too long to achieve whatever is the objective I'm pretending to pursue, we have a problem. This is why the better settings we have before starting prompting, the more accurate the model will be. And let's move a little further. Okay, again, we can, of course, speak about if we want this. A few years ago, it was not that possible. Now, new models can learn and they have the past history. So they can remember a conversation or they can remember the data we have uploaded. And this is very useful because it's not about telling the model every time from scratch what do we want to pursue, but we can continue where we left. And this is very convenient. But for this, we have to do the settings properly. And one of the most important things is the following. Okay, let's see. Data control. This is only possible if you have the version and you pay on a monthly basis, from the basic one up to the more professional one, but you need to pay. Normally, an LLM it's a model who has to be trained, has to learn. And what OpenAI, Google with Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, even DeepSeek, which started March last year, uh, they provide free versions in order to allow that the model will be trained. So the most important thing is that we have to be very careful with the information we are uploading. Why? Because as long as information which is not sensitive, okay, it's not a big deal. However, still information. If we want to upload some personal information, we have to be very aware that we are feeding the model. If we are going to upload professional information, this is begin to be risky. In fact, this morning I was speaking with a senior official of an institution which was very concerned about how to protect data. So first thing I said, okay, go to settings. Of course, you need the pay version and deactivate that the model will improve using the data that you are uploading. I remember not too long ago, I was speaking with someone who was working in the banking side, and this person, he was very proud of himself because this person was telling me, I have a bunch of contracts from many, many clients. For me, on the past, was completely tedious to go over each single contract and extract information in a manual basis and transfer that information into a CRM, for example. Now I just go to the LLM, ChatGPT or any of the others, and the model does automatically. And I said, oh, good for you. And are you having a model which you limit that all this information is kept within boundaries so no one is able to access other than you, or if you are within the corporation, other within the institution in which you collaborate? He said, what? No, I'm using the free version. I said to you, I was telling this person, be very careful because if your client knows that you have uploaded a confidential contract into the LLM, this is going to sue your company, and this is going to have great penalties. And I won't feel very confident of what you have done. So the guy was a little panic, and he said, I won't do it anymore. But the real truth is sometimes we think that because something is for free, we don't have any drawbacks or have any restrictions. And the thing is that if something is too good to be true, definitely has a hidden price. In this case, the price is that we are training the model for free. So all those of you that are listening to this webinar who are aware of this and you have set up correctly by limiting that the model won't be feeding with sensible information, that's perfect. Those who haven't heard about this, I please do not go someplace else. Wait until this webinar will be over, but you should definitely go check your settings and try to at least be aware about this. Then it's up to you if you want to go to the version where you have to pay and have control over this situation. And of course, moving forward, once we understand the settings, then if we want to automatize, if we want that the LLM will have control over our, over our inbox, over our calendar, over the files we may have, in this case, Google Drive or you name it, OneDrive or any of the different servers where we can upload our files or our contacts. And of course, GitHub, where we have plenty of different codings that we and many other institutions throughout the world are uploading different type of codings. Okay, so we can definitely have control of what do we have, or in other words, what do we want as users to allow the model to access? Do we want to access to our emails? Yes or no? In which degree? To our calendar? Because this is very sensitive information. So we have to be very aware. And we have to be very careful that if we do this, again, we should be in a paid version. Uh, is, is this message arriving correctly? Everyone is understanding?
Yes, I changed my settings. Thank you.
Okay, good. Perfect. So let's move forward. Okay, and let's be honest. If we're speaking about AI, it can perform many things, but it's not magic. Has some limitations, and for sure, it's not a magical solution. It's not. It won't solve everything from one day to the day after. It won't. Uh, for sure, it's not only for big IT departments. It can be even, and this is the whole purpose of this webinar. For sure, it's a great tool for small and medium companies. And it can be as complicated as we want to be, but as simple as we want to be. So it depends how we use it. It's great if we want to uh, automatically perform tasks which are repetitive, something which is time consuming and all the time is the same. So this is great. It's a great tool in order to generate content that can be used for many things. It's great to analyze data and to find patterns. Sometimes these patterns are a little hidden to the human eye. This is why in medicine, AI is revolutionizing many different fields in medicine. Why? Because even the most expert doctor sometimes is unable to see a pattern in a MRI or any other different medical test. AI, it's really excelling in this regard. And of course, it's available to be used for many people. We saw it, almost 900 million. So it's not something that will replace your business, but it will make your business much more efficient. Okay, so uh, there are a lot of problems right now. Uh, we can see from the number of hours we allocate in routine work, in administrative work. There's no value added, but it takes time, and someone has to do it. So, is there someone has to do it? Again, repetitive tasks. And the problem with small and medium enterprises is that the managers, the owners, the entrepreneurs, sometimes they wear so many hats that they have to be uh, pretending or performing many roles and many responsibilities. So it's complicated to be able to be everything all the time. And this is why if technology can allow us to save some time and spend that time in more qualified activities, more from the strategy or more for something which is essential or urgent at one point, that's perfect. And again, all manual process can be analyzed. I'm not saying that all manual process can be performed by AI. This is something that has to be, first of all, understand the problem, and then analyze what technology can do. But normally, in many cases, although it won't solve 100% of the problem, it can really make the company to be much more efficient. Okay, so what areas we are going to analyze right now? Okay, the whole point is to have some broader scope. So we're going to analyze AI, how it helps in the marketing and content, how analyze for customer service, for finance and administrative activities, for operations and inventory, for human resources and hiring, and then we'll speak a little about agents, which are like the next big step, and it's really allowing that companies go further. Okay, let's start with the marketing and content creation. I'm pretty sure the majority of all of you have been using for the last, maybe some of you started a few months ago, others maybe started about 2 years ago or so. And it is a great tool for generating all type of content. So, excuse me, it is perfect for writing posts or emails. And again, if we have done the setting of the system correctly, then when we do the prompting, the posts, the emails, the final result that we're looking for, it will be pretty accurate because the whole point is just to try to do the minimal effort in terms of prompting. If we are having to put once, twice, and many times, it's not worthwhile. In that case, maybe it's better if we just create the content by our own. So the whole point is to have an efficient tool. If we set the context properly, it will learn the tone we want in our posts, in our emails, uh, the brand voice. How I mean, we can train the system, we can train the model who we are as a company, what type, which is our client, what type of image we want to project to others. So this is very important because the models, I mean, in the case of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, when they released Model 5 last year, it was I think July last year, they said it's like having a PhD with you. Okay, to be honest, it's not a PhD. But the previous model, which was Model 4, it was really, I mean, a lot of hallucinations, a lot of content was really not accurate. So I think it has a big improvement from Model 4 to Model 5, the one we are right now. But it's not a PhD. So this is why the more context we provide to the model, the better result we'll be having. And of course, uh, it will be keeping track of many, many things and can really provide something not only in English, not only in Spanish, but oops, excuse me, but in many, many languages. Sometimes companies have to serve in different regions which speak different languages. So on the past there was a big problem. Now we have really the multilingual capabilities in our hands, which is really something very, very important. So, using artificial intelligence to create content has a very low degree of difficulty, and this is something that anyone can pursue. So let's take a look uh, in this example. For example, uh, this is a boutique of human resources. It has 6 consultants. And the growth of the company for the last 8 years, it was based only in referrals. What is the problem? 6 consultants overloaded, and the problem with them is that they are really struggling, no time, and they are feeding the LinkedIn group with few posts, 2 to 3 every month. So this is inconsistent because the image they want to project to the potential clients is not strong enough. So this is why the engagement rate is very, very low. And they had, in terms of the website visitors on a monthly basis, about 400-ish. And in terms of inbound leads on a monthly basis, it's close to 0 or sometimes 1. So if we, for example, Claude, which is a great, great model, we can train Claude with AI and they can start and move from 2 to 3 posts per month to 2, 3 in a given week. So that means if we're speaking about 3, we can have freshly baked content to be published on Monday, on Wednesday, on Friday. And of course, has to be engaging content, so has to be something that shows that Cornerstone HR Consulting has a lot of value added in providing solutions regarding this content, and that will at least project a completely different image in front of the potential clients, because now you're showing a quite more dynamic company who is generating content all the time. And I'm speaking engaging content, because if the content is not engaging enough, is not appealing enough, it makes no point, because at the end, and we have to be very careful in this regard, if the content is not engaging, the way it has been indexed within LinkedIn, it won't be too good. So we have to be careful to provide the appropriate context to the LLM, so that we will ending up with the right content creation. Of course, we can use Canva AI, and we can, in addition of the content, we can produce very powerful and professional graphics that will show whatever we want to show, in order to provide graphical information in addition of the written content that we have uploaded. And again, sometimes, depending on the type of website, we have to continuously update the content of the website. Again, an AI based assistant is able to help us in order to update this this content. And sometimes, if we have, I mean, if we are well trained, we can be very, very efficient. And sometimes these six consultants, by assigning the task they have to pursue, I mean, it's not dedicating 8 hours a day in order to train the model and creating the adequate prompting. No, sometimes it's the model already is being trained and it's learning every time we interact with it. And so by just allocating few hours a week, it will generate results. Those results can be a big lift in terms of the LinkedIn followers, in terms of increase the engagement rate, in terms of the number of inbound leads we are having on a monthly basis, and in terms, because this is the most important thing, the whole point is to generate revenue, and that revenue, if we have an efficient cost structure, at the end will turn into profits. So, but in order to generate revenue, our company I mean, the potential market has to be aware about that we exist, about our value added, about what type of products or service do we provide. And of course, the competition is there, is always there. So let's use this new technology to be in the edge, all the time producing content, all the time being displaying what we want, our message, what we want to really to be known in front of the potential clients, because otherwise someone else is going to do it. And of course, we are limited. We have six consultants, or you name it, the number of people that's working in our company, and everyone is fully loaded. So this is why it's important to take the most of this new technology. Let's take a look to another one.
Sergio,
Uh,
just a friendly reminder, we have 15 minutes more. Maybe we can extend 5, 10 minutes more, but keep that in mind, please.
okay. Do I'm speaking too slow?
No, no, but just, just to
Okay.
make sure you
Thank you.
manage your time correct.
Thank you, Patricia.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is a company who's dedicated to financial planning. This one is based in Florida, and only 4 people work there. Okay. Again, we can hear before it has a big, problems in terms of productivity. Email open rate was 18%. They can increase using technology, much higher open rate. Again, LinkedIn can be enhanced, and we can have more inquiries from clients, which was on a 60-day basis near to zero, and these were from 2 to 3. And sometimes we have to dedicate 3 to 4 hours, and we can go with much less time in order to generate all this content. So let's move forward. Customer service automation. Okay, in this case, again, sometimes we need to provide answers, not in office hours, but all the time. So by having the possibility to have 24/7 service, which is, of course, something that large corporations can do, but not small and medium-sized companies. So by AI, by powering this, we can be able to provide fax 24/7. We can automate appointments, the scheduling. We can handle orders and return basic complaints. We can escalate to human only when it's needed, but sometimes it's not needed. So AI can be a great tool in order to provide aftercare or customer service to potential clients. Okay, let's move forward. And in this case, okay, we have a lot of problems throughout the field, and the technology can show us. Intercom AI is a wonderful tool in order to train the model. In this case, it has been trained with 340 internal documents, internal files to give context. So the model only will be answering within those 340. So it won't hallucinate. It won't go outside to look for the answer. It will limit the answer to those documents. And if it's unable to find the answer, then it will scale up to a real human. So this is important. But sometimes this aftercare, it's very complicated if you are doing chess on a manual basis because you don't have the resources, or it's very costly. It takes a lot of hours to do it. Okay. What about finance initiatives? This is, again, a great tool because we can, hold on. Yeah, we can, each transaction can be labeled automatically. So we will know every single item, what type of transaction it is. We can scan automatically all the invoices. We can do the follow-up on the invoices. We can even try to look for these hidden patterns and try to identify if there's a potential error. So we'll look for it. And we were able even to predict cash flows. For small and medium-sized companies, one of the most struggling things is to cope with liquidity. So sometimes a liquidity problem, if it's not handled properly, can become a solvency problem. And when it becomes a solvency problem, that company may face really, really problems because it's on the edge of a potential big damage. So be able to forecast cash flows on a 30, 90-day, whatever is the time frame we want to pursue, it's essential. And technology is great again for this. Again, this is a low level difficulty because sometimes every time technology is even easier. So no necessarily you need an IT person to pursue this. Okay, speeding up. Okay, in this case, of course, it was a problem, and technology was able, for example, the tool Xerox AI, it's great in order to automate transactions. Dex, I'm speaking about this, but there are many others. It's great for scanning. MailChimp, which has been around for a while, the new versions that automate emailings. It's great in order to keep track of all the documents that have submitted and to do reminders. And again, it eliminates follow-up with client. So this is something that for finance and administration, it's great. What about operations? One of the most important things is how to cope with forecast demand. Forecast demand, it's great because sometimes, although humans have the past knowledge and you know in the past what happened, so you have that memory and you know how to act. Sometimes, again, these hidden patterns, AI is able to identify, and at least we have a copilot with us. And I'm speaking copilot as the Microsoft AI assistant. I'm speaking as really someone which is helping us all the time. They can suggest to reorder up to specific points of our stock. And that time we can minimize the risk of running out of stock. And again, it's very important because all these patterns sometimes are not so easy to see. And remember, managers are with so full of information that sometimes you don't have the time to really think what is going on because you are completely overwhelmed. So again, this is something quite interesting. Okay, let's move on. Okay, in this case, of course, there are solutions as 7 shifts, which is great for scheduling. How do we keep track of our inventory, of our stock, and it predicts based on sale patterns, etc. Okay. For human resources and hiring, again, AI, it's great because it allows us to, for on one side, it generates job description in minutes or in seconds, and is able to screen and rank a large volume of CVs. Sometimes it's overwhelmed. You post a job offer description and that job offer, and then you have thousands of people. Who is going to take the time to take a look to those thousand bios or resumes or CVs? No time. It's impossible. And if someone decides to, you are stealing hours from your company to do it maybe for something else which is much more productive or much more urgent. So this is great. And of course, you can also personalize candidates follow-ups because you can, once you pre-select the system, then they can keep track of every single one and even can schedule all the interviews or the process of interviewing to each of them. And once you select the candidates, it can also create those welcome packs for depending on the job position or the job position is going to be covering. Okay, every single person requires a different welcome pack. What's the material? What have to be trained in? So this is very, very important. And it's very repetitive every time. So the more you use AI in this regard, the less overloaded will be of repetitive tasks. Okay. Okay, how are we doing? Okay. So the costs, maybe many of you, and there's no way I'm doing a marketing or advertise, but just to be aware that sometimes we have to have a paid service with a model and maybe sometimes more than one. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should be hiring all of this. You should do whatever you consider is appropriate. But sometimes if we are efficient enough and we pick the right tools, sometimes we really can be much more productive and much more cost efficient instead of hiring administrative people who's going to be earning whatever is the monthly salary, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, you name it, depend of the region where you are. So this is something that you should really take a look closely. The thing is that the costs of not using AI, okay, should we use it or not? In Beyond AI, we are not saying that you should use it. At least you should be aware about what are the tools out there, in which degree they can help your company, and from there, you take the decision. Because otherwise, many of you probably already using them. Some of them, maybe you are just in an earlier stage where you say, should I use it or not? So this is very important. In few slides, I want to show you a little more information. And agents, this is the last part. Okay, agents are the next step. Why? Because meanwhile, with a model, you can include one or many prompts, and then you have the answer. Agents, it's the next step. Why? Because you can create an agent who is going to perform many tasks and is going to do it in an autonomous way. That means it will self-improve according with the data that the model will be learning, and the agent will take decisions. Of course, we have to be very careful, and the agent has to be done in a correctly way because we don't want unwanted results. So this is something that we should be very aware. But agents are really excelling performance since they started commercially last year. Identifies target companies via LinkedIn in specific industries, filter by company size, enrich profiles with recent news, generate tailored outreach emails, send emails from the connected inbox. We have to connect our inbox, and logs all contacts and activity into our CRM, they can schedule automated follow-ups, they track campaigns, uh, and then really have a lot of things to be done. I'm not saying that one specific agent will perform all this. Sometimes agents have to specialize in specific tasks. So maybe you need more than one agent. But these are the things that it can be done by using agents. And of course, they drive lead generation and sales by, I mean, they can really keep track of our activity. Okay, so and they can be great as well to customer retention. Something we don't want is that our clients are not really happy with our service and they're going to leave. We have to identify as soon as possible if there's a problem and try to have their information in order to be able to maintain to keep that client. It's very costly to attract a client, and it's very costly to lose that client. So this is why AI is great for this. I think we're running out of time. So let me jump into this slide. Okay, so the thing is that we can use for many, many things. And you have here, like, do we need really IT support? If we want to build a fully customized system, yes. But if we want to start for specific things, maybe we can explore by ourselves, or in some cases, connect multiple apps. Maybe we can need some support from a freelancer, IT freelancer. But there are many things it can be done by yourself. The most important thing is that we should be very, I mean, we should know clearly that everything we do by ourselves, no, it's not zero because we have an opportunity cost. It's our time. Fractional consultant may have a cost, freelancer may have a cost, and a full-time IT hire, it have a cost. If we are able to understand and have some autonomy, have some criteria of what we should do in terms of IT, maybe we're going to be able to take the right decisions. So really, the whole point here is that there are plenty of tools, and we are almost there. And we have to choose the right one for us. We should start with free trials, but we have to be very aware about what I mentioned about data privacy. But at least we have to test the model. Are there any video tutorials, live chat of support? Do we have pre-built templates? Do we have reviews about how it works? Let's have a lot of feedback before deciding which is the right tool we should be using. And for example, AI, as we said, has some limitations. So the most important thing is we have to be aware that we should do and pick one, improve it, and then expand. If we try to do everything at once, we will be struggling because it can be something too big to handle. So we have to be comfortable with one and then go to the next one, because otherwise it's going to be very painful and we can be ending up with a real complicated situation. The MIT has released, I mean, not only the MIT, but many other institutions worldwide, that sometimes if we are not very careful what we do, the whole point of implementing AI can end in a big mistake. So this is something important. So in order to end, you should identify, maybe you already have identified 3 or more tasks that are consuming a lot of your time or from your employees. And you should be finding where is slowing and how you are impacting with a high cost, because it's a repetitive task. You can use Claude or any other solution, and try to see if you can, with a free trial test, try to measure, try to decide if each of these tools may help you in order to improve the process that you're doing manually. Patricia, we're running out of time, right?
Yes, but please finish. We have a few more minutes.
Okay, so we will be more than happy to have a free conversation if you want us to analyze and understand the problem you have and see if we can help you from there. You have a QR code there. That means that if you want to contact with us, we will be more than happy. And we are very grateful that the Maryland Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has invited to this webinar. I don't know if I've been speaking too fast, but unfortunately, time is over, Patricia.
Thank you. Appreciate that so much. You speeding up. I think AI would have not done it any better than you. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate it. I just went to the QR and you'll see that it's a landing page specifically created for all of us who are here. So make sure you take that. I don't know if we can share that, if there's a way to share that via chat or some other way. But
Yes, and I will include it in the email with a presentation to all the attendees.
perfect. Thank you, Patricia. It's important because this is something that was created specifically by Beyond AI for us. And I so appreciate for all of the information that you shared with us today. So many new apps to try. But the thing that I'm taking with me, and I hope to and I want to emphasize for everybody is create that 30-day AI action plan and take it one at a time. I think that was really valuable because AI can be overwhelming. And I am a creator, so when you're speaking about marketing and content creation, that's you were speaking to me. You were preaching. And to get used to that and to create the voice that you want and to create the different voices for your different clients that you have, that's really, really important. So AI can be a magnificent tool, but it can be very overwhelming. So take it one at a time. Choose one problem that you have right now and see what that solution looks like and feels like and that you can handle it. I think we if everybody's okay with staying another 5 minutes, I would love to open it to everyone who's in the room. If there's any questions, any burning questions that anyone has. And I think I see one. If a company here wanted to start using AI next week, what are the first 2, 3 workflows you would recommend automating?
Okay, I think before answering, you should take a look to the company and see if it's struggling in some way and where is it struggling. It has some kind of problems with manual procedures, where those are located. So that will allow you to understand where you should be starting by applying AI. And again, once you identify 2 or 3, start with one you consider is the most important. Don't try to, if you identify 3 or 4 problems, start with 4 at the same time because it's going to be overwhelming, as Chris mentioned.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So identify the problem, then look for AI solutions, and then try one. And that's hard. I know because we want to solve all of our problems. We want them all to disappear, but we have, that's very wise. So thank you for that. Take one and try it. Thank you,
But
Joshua, for the question.
Chris, there's a learning curve. So
Mhm.
once we go for the first, we will feel much more confident to go for the second and then to the third. And we will make mistakes for sure, but in this learning curve, our mistake rate will be smaller and smaller after a few iterations.
Thank you. Anyone else has another question? You can unmute or you can put it on the chat. Either one is fine. I don't see anyone unmuting and I don't see anyone dropping anything on the chat. So I'm going to assume that there's no questions, but oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that information. Thank you for you. I think you've given us so much to think about today and to take with us today. We want to thank again all of our sponsors. You see them right there and remind you all that your name could be here and not just here, but in many of our spaces, in our events, in everything that we do on our website. Check out our website. It has all of our sponsors there as well. So your name could be there. You could be making connections. You could be celebrated and elevated in all of our events and all of our platforms by sponsoring the Maryland Hispanic Chamber. Thank you so much, Jorge. Thank you. I know it's evening time for you in Spain, so have a happy Friday evening to you.
Thank
No,
you very much.
he's getting ready to go to dinner at 10 p.m. So
Of
that's
course,
okay.
of course. 10 p.m. is early for dinner time.
It's true, but
Sergio, thank you
not
so
for
much.
fun though.
Thank you
Not
so
for
much.
fun.
See, thank you
No,
so much for presenting today.
thanks to all of you
Thank you
for
everybody
having
for
me.
present for.
And before we close, if I could ask all of you who can, show your camera, we're gonna do our bam. We gotta close. We gotta close with a big bam. It's the first day of spring, so yay to that. That deserves a big bam. So if you are able to open your camera, go ahead and do it. And we're gonna close together with a big. We're gonna send us all into the weekend with a
Bam.
lot of energy. Get those, roll your sleeves, get your hands ready, and 1, 2, 3. Thank you for
Bam.
Bam. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend, and we'll
Take
see
care,
you all
everyone.
next time.
Thank you very
Take
much.
care.